Why do human beings, across every continent, every culture, and every generation, keep repeating the same patterns? The same struggles, the same ambitions, the same quiet acts of self-sabotage. It is as if something ancient is operating beneath the surface of conscious thought, a code written long before language, before civilization, before the first city was ever built. This is not coincidence. This is architecture. And today, we begin to uncover it. Beneath every decision you make, who you trust, what you fear, what you chase, lies a survival code forged over hundreds of thousands of years. Long before comfort and convenience defined human life, survival depended on split-second judgment. Avoid danger, secure resources, belong to the group. These instincts did not disappear when civilization arrived. They simply changed clothing. The fear of rejection that once meant exile from a tribe and possible death now shows up as anxiety before a difficult conversation. The hunger for status that once meant access to protection and resources now drives ambition, comparison, and the relentless pursuit of recognition. We call these things modern problems. In truth, they are ancient signals, echoing through a nervous system that is not caught up to the world it now inhabits. This creates a duality within every human being, a constant, quiet tension between two forces. On one side sits the primal self, the part of us wired for safety, comfort, and belonging. On the other side stands the aspirational self, the part of us that reaches for growth, for purpose, for something greater than mere existence. Most people never recognize this war is even happening. They simply feel pulled toward ease when they crave achievement, toward distraction when they crave meaning. But those who learn to see this duality gain something extraordinary, the ability to choose which side of themselves they feed. Compounding this internal battle is something equally powerful: the mask. From childhood, human beings are conditioned to hide their raw instincts behind socially acceptable behavior. We learn what to say, what to suppress, what to perform. Over time, the gap between the authentic self and the presented self grows wider, until many people lose touch with who they actually are beneath the performance. This mask is not inherently dishonest. It is a survival adaptation, a tool for navigating society. But when worn without awareness, it becomes a prison, quietly disconnecting people from their own truth. And this brings us to the first great secret of human nature. It is not fixed. It is not a single, unchangeable force pulling you in one direction. Human nature is dual in its very design, carrying within it both the seed of mediocrity and the seed of greatness. Which one grows depends entirely on the environment you build, the beliefs you reinforce, and the choices you repeat. This is not philosophy. This is biology, psychology, and history converging on a single truth. You are not simply born who you are. You become who you are through the forces you allow to shape you. Understanding this hidden architecture is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning. Because once you see the code operating beneath your instincts, beneath your fears, beneath the mask you wear, you gain the one thing most people never claim: the power to work with your nature instead of being ruled by it. But knowing the architecture is not enough. The next step is learning how to rebuild it, deliberately, powerfully, and permanently. That is where everything changes. There is a moment in every awakened life, quiet, unannounced, easy to miss, when a person stops trying to escape their nature and starts learning to command it. This is that moment. Because the truth is, the people history remembers were not born without fear, without doubt, without the same primal instincts that live inside you right now. They simply refused to let those instincts drive the vehicle. They took the wheel. Consider what discipline actually is. Not the absence of instinct, the redirection of it. The fear that once froze, you can be converted into focus so sharp, its silence is distraction. The restlessness that once scattered your attention across 100 meaningless things can be channeled into ambition with a single unshakable target. Discipline is not a war against human nature. It is a negotiation with it, an agreement where instinct still speaks, but no longer decides. At the center of this transformation lies a principle few people ever fully grasp. Identity is not discovered, it is constructed. Human beings do not become who they are by accident. They become who they are by repetition. Every action taken, every belief reinforced, every small choice made in private moments no one else witnesses. These are votes cast for the person you are building. This is not motivational language. It is a psychological law as consistent as gravity. The version of you that shows up in 5 years is being written today, and the choice is too small for anyone else to notice. And this is where the silent choice appears. The one moment, repeated daily, that most people never recognize as a crossroads. It rarely looks dramatic. It looks like choosing to rise 10 minutes earlier or staying beneath the blanket. It looks like finishing the difficult task or postponing it until tomorrow. It looks like speaking the honest word or retreating into silence. There is no siren announcing this moment. It passes in seconds. But across a lifetime, these seconds accumulate into destiny. This leads to the final secret, the one that reframes everything discussed until now. Human nature was never meant to be a cage. It is raw material. Fear, ambition, comfort, restlessness. These are not flaws to eliminate. They are forces to be shaped. The way fire can either destroy a house or forge steel, depending entirely on how it is directed. Those who understand this stop asking, "How do I fix my nature?" and start asking a far more powerful question, "How do I design it?" Because the moment you accept that your character is not fixed but built, you inherit the same tool used by every remarkable human being who ever lived, the tool of conscious construction. You now carry knowledge that once belonged only to philosophers, warriors, and those who reshaped history through sheer force of self-mastery. The architecture has been revealed. The mechanics are no longer a mystery. What remains is not more information. It is application. It is the discipline to act on what you now understand, long after the emotion of this moment fades. So here is the question this leaves you with. Knowing that your nature is not fixed, but shaped by the choices you repeat, what will you choose to reinforce starting today? Will you feed the instinct that keeps you comfortable, or the identity that demands you grow? The answer will not be spoken. It will be lived, one silent choice at a time.